try and give these players a little bit better mojo. I'm going to swap that die out for something else here. Maybe we'll get a better shot here. Again, another tie that we have to reroll. Much better result this time. We have a 5, which allows us to activate. The zombies will activate too, but there are no zombies on the board, and the players get to go first. Actually, this building was already searched because we got that outcome of 0 zombies. Oh no, the building was entered. Now we're going to search it and see what we have in there. So we'll have Beck search, look at a loot card, and we found a baseball bat. That is good, because that is our first extra weapon that we found. Here's the baseball bat that Beck found. It's a weapon and it adds 1d6 to her melee. I'll put that in the empty slot in her pack that's in pack. And I'll probably want to swap that out because she's going to be going into buildings. And it'd be to her advantage to be able to roll 3 dice in melee instead of 2. And with her special ability, she can cause the enemy to re-roll one of their dice. But I don't want her to rush in until we can do that. So I'll move her out of the building and have her ready to go into the next one. And then I'll have Tanya move 2 spaces to the outside of the building to be in a support role in case she needs her. Now we had another quick turn there, but this one was a good one. We have no zombies on the board, so there's none going to activate right now. Another bonus of that bat is it's quiet. It's not going to generate shots and attract more zombies to the board. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the initiative and start our next turn. Even though there are no zombies on the board, I still have to roll initiative. Because that way if the player characters don't activate, then they lose their turn in essence, because then they would just stand there or just rummage about in their spot. And it's a tie. It's a tie. Okay. So we're able to activate, and we would go first if there were any zombies on the board. Now before Beck moves, I'm going to have her swap out her baseball bat for her pistol as her action. So now she has her baseball bat in hand, which will give her 1d6 melee. And odds are we're not going to draw another 0 here. So she'll move and enter this building. And now we need to draw our zombie card. Oof, it's a bad one. We gotta generate 5 zombies inside that building. Well, that building is just infested with them. So, let me draw. Oop, didn't mean to throw it, but that worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zombies in that building. Now we have to roll to determine if Beck was surprised or not. Beck stumbled into that building and found a whole bunch of zombies, 5 of them. Now, to check for surprise, we're going to roll against, not against, but with Beck's rep, so she'll add 4 to her roll. But unfortunately, she's not at an advantage this time. With 5 zombies, they're going to add 5 to their roll. And I believe that's a tie. So 5, that gives the zombie 7. 4 added to hers gives them 7. And I believe that the ties are won by the player. Let me check the rules real quick. I do not remember. And that is correct. Ties go to the survivor. So it has to be equal to or greater than what the zombies rolled. So that means she surprised the zombies. She snuck in there. They didn't see her yet. So she has a choice. she can either back out of the building or go ahead and engage in melee. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Let me see. I think I'm going to go for it. So she's got 5 zombies to deal with, but she has the ability to roll an extra die, and she has the ability to make them re-roll one of their dice. So we'll have this epic battle. She's going to rush in, swinging her bat like a madman, more like a mad woman. And she got 3 successes, but the zombies got 4. So she will make them re-roll one of theirs, but that did not help. So that's probably not good and was probably a bad decision, but hey, it's no fun if you don't take chances. The enemy scored more successes than the survivor. The survivor receives a wound. If the wound does not kill the survivor, then they stay in the hex until next activation. So Beck will be our first player to take a wound. Beck takes a wound. Tanya is standing outside the building. Sees the pandemonium going on inside, and she's going to fire her weapon to try and make it a little bit easier for Beck to take out one of those zombies. Tanya takes a shot. That's only a 7 total, which is no good, but she can re-roll. And she rolled worse. So fired off a round and missed 5 zombies, didn't even hit one of them. Or maybe she did hit one of them, but didn't hit it in the brain. Bad news for Beck is that was the player's activation, and now the zombies get to activate. So these 5 zombies are going to rush at Beck. Beck had snuck into the house overconfident with her baseball bat, and right before she was about to brain one of them, she tripped over something on the floor and made a bunch of noise. Now they're turning around and they're all coming at her. So now she has to roll against her rep on a being charged reaction test, and horribly failed and got 0. And on a 0, she's in a building. She may not fire and will melee instead. Well, she couldn't fire because her weapon is in her backpack anyway. Well, Beck didn't have the option to run away, so she's going to have to fight this epic fight again. 5 zombies and Beck with a baseball bat. Ooh, ooh, oof. That's bad. Beck only has 1 success. The zombies have 4. I could make them re-roll 1. Let me see. Okay. Now there is something here we definitely want to take into account. If at least 4 zombies are in the hex and the zombies scored 3 times as many successes as the survivor, that means they're going to take 2 wounds instead. So, right now they definitely have 4 times as many successes. And even if I re-roll, make them re-roll 1 and they lose it, they're still going to have 3, which is still 3 times as many successes. So Beck is in really, really bad shape. Beck is barely hanging on. She's going to take 2 wounds, and it's going to move her past the flip, so we're going to have to flip her player chit over, and it's going to make her less effective. You can see here that she goes from 4-5-2 to 3-4-2, so she can move less, and her rep's going to go down because she's so wounded. My decision to just go for it has severely backfired. And now we flip back over to her severely wounded side. And she's still stuck in this building, door blocked by a bunch of zombies, no windows to jump out of. She's in a lot of trouble. Now we still have to resolve that shot to see if we have another zombie that's going to join this party. We clean up the aftermath of this epic beatdown that she took. Roll 1 dice for that one shot, and we will have another zombie join. The shot will result in another zombie. This time it will generate to the upper right portion of the hex. 6 away. Can't go to that half hex, so that shot is resolved. And that will end our very bloody turn, which Beck took a lot of wounds. One more wound and Beck is done for. And that probably means I lose the scenario, because we have to find 2 weapons, but I'll have to read the wording properly. I'll worry about that if I can't save Beck. I can heal her 1 wound because of the med kit that Tanya has, but that's still going to leave her on the bad side of her chit, but it'll make her less likely to die immediately. Well, this all probably depends on the initiative of our next round. We definitely need to get the initiative so Beck can get the heck out of that building. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. We need a good result here. This could mean whether or not Beck survives. That is not a good result, because the zombies and the players both activate, but the zombies got the higher score, which means they will definitely go first. Just a quick reminder about what the situation is here. We have 5 zombies in that building with a severely wounded Beck who are now rushing her, so she's going to have to take a being charged reaction test. The being charged reaction test against her rep, which is now 3, and she somehow was successful. And on the chart it says those that can fire will. Her weapon's in her backpack, so she can't. Those that cannot fire, which is her case, will go into melee. Now, we already know the bad situation she's in. This could mean her death here. We're hoping things go good for Beck. Let's see what happens. She's bleeding. She's fighting. She's trying to get out of this building. She's swinging that bat like crazy. Will she be able to work her way out? Does not look good for Beck. She only has 1. Even with making them re-roll, it wouldn't have mattered, because the enemy scores more successes, the survivor receives a wound. So that is going to do it for Beck. She is going to be killed and eaten by our pack of zombies. My overconfidence and my just go for it attitude got her killed. Beck wound causes her to succumb and fall to the zombies. Beck didn't make it. She has been killed. She had a baseball bat, a pistol, and a box of ammo on her. Now you're supposed to discard these items, but I house rule that, of course, her body's in there with her items. The zombies are not going to eat those items or destroy them because they don't care about them. So they're in there with the zombies also. Now we have the zombie out here that has a movement of 5 that is just off the frame. There we go. He can move 5. He's going to move right to Tanya and rush her. Tanya is completely distraught over what she's seen happen to Beck, and she can choose what she wants to do, and she's definitely going to fire her weapon at this zombie that's rushing her. And that's only a 7, but again, she can choose to re-roll. And gets 10 total, which will take that zombie out. In her blind rage, she's able to shoot and kill that zombie that was coming for her. And now Tanya gets her turn and her activation. And she's going to shoot another round into the building. That'll be 2 shots. And try and take out one of the zombies that just killed her friend and companion. Tanya's second shot is bad, but again, she can re-roll. And this time it's an 11, and she manages to kill another zombie that just killed her friend. Normally I would go through the stack and pick the most dangerous zombie, the one that can move the most to eliminate, but thematically I'm thinking Tanya is just shooting at the first thing she can see, so I rolled a dice and rolled a 4, so I'll eliminate the 4th zombie down in the stack no matter what it is. And that turned out to be one of the ones that could move 5, so that worked out, even though I was going for random determination. Now Tanya has fired her weapon and has the ability to move now, and I think she's going to try to get away from this horrible scene that she sees going on there. Her friend being consumed. She can move 4. I'll move her behind this building where she can try and regroup and figure out what she's going to do next. Again, that was out of frame. She was here where the shot went off, and I moved her behind that building. That's going to end this horribly devastating turn for us. Beck has lost her life to bad decision making. She just thought she could go in there with that bat and take them out and hold her own, but there was way too many. They blocked her exit. They wounded her badly. She could not make it out of there, and Tanya was unable to help her from outside the building. We still have these 2 shots that we need to resolve, and we'll do that right now. See if any new zombies appear, and one does. We'll draw from our cup of zombies, and down in the bottom left part of the hex will be the direction that it spawns from. 1, 2, 3. She ran behind the building to try and regroup, and another zombie is lurking just behind these woods, and she didn't know it. And that will be everything we need to do to finish this turn. We lost Beck. Tanya doesn't know what she's going to do now. She's all alone. We have a lot of decisions to make. She still doesn't have a weapon, an extra one for herself. There's a couple in that building, but she would have to go in there and rummage through her friend's corpse in order to get them, which I don't think she'd be able to do. We'll see what happens in our next turn.